Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
We're okay. We're okay.
What a disappointment.
Star Wars Outlaws is so flawed that if it were a hot dude, people would be trying to fix him. Now, I bought this game with one intention and one intention only, to see if it was as bad as everyone thought, me included. This game is basically Disney's attempt at reviving Star Wars 1313, but without any of the love that game has. Now, this game has a laundry list of problems, but let's try to narrow it down to just 7. K-Vance, performance, gameplay, Nyx, polish, open world, and story. Starting with the main protagonist, she is strange. It's not that I dislike her per se, it's that she feels like an amalgamation of Han Solo and Cassian Andor, but without the charm of either of those characters. Kay just comes off as almost childish in an extremely strange way. It never feels like she fully grasps the gravity of her situation. I mean, we start the game after she was caught stealing from a local gang, so what does she do? Jokes about it. And then goes to steal from an even bigger gang.
Go make us all rich.
Now, I'm not hating on the happy-go-lucky quips. That's very much something Han Solo has in common with her. What I don't like is that unlike Han Solo and Cassian Andor, Kay is ridiculously stupid. Both of her male counterparts are notorious survivors, up until they give their life for something more important than them, or because Kathleen Kennedy said so. I don't know. Anyways, both of those characters play the part they need to and will mold themselves to fit. But when Kay rescues the alien dude and gets told she was working with the Rebel Alliance, she freaks out and demands payment at that very moment. This is stupid for 3 reasons. 1, she does this in the middle of a compound that is under heavy alert. 2, she pulls her blaster and holds it on the dude they're rescuing, aka the one person without a blaster.
We've got to go. You'll get paid once we're safe. You have our word.
Wait! Nobody move. You either pay me now, or just pay me.
Not to mention she has her back to the other 2 or 3 rebels with blasters.
We're the Rebel Alliance.
So?
Windows closing.
Join us and fight the Empire for the future of this galaxy.
What's it pay?
We don't have time for this.
Hey, wait!
And 3, why do you need to be paid right now? You were desperate enough to take a high-risk job with an unknown crew, but not desperate enough to wait till the mission was over to ask for your payment?
This is a new crew. High risk. Whatever it takes, you finish this job.
Hey, wait!
Score alone is enough to buy you a damn shuttle-off world. It's what you want, right? Time to go, Kay.
Now, I think I know why this happened. Firstly, I believe it was to give her her own ship, and frankly, that's just not necessary. She could have just had one at the beginning of the game, and I would have understood just fine. And secondly, for plot reasons. This introduces us to both the rebels and the main antagonist.
I'm starving. It's time to eat.
Another thing to mention about Kay, she says, if you want something done right, do it yourself.
Got no crew, Kay. And you keep going it alone with high-risk scores that just go sideways.
You want it done right? You do it yourself.
Can we please just try to say something original here and not copy and paste the lamest line ever? Here's 3 lines that mean the same thing, but sound a little bit better. I don't work well with others. I don't like sharing. We just end up at each other's throats. All 3 of these imply the same thing, but with more nuance, and more importantly, it shows that our main character has flaws and acknowledges them. More important than her choice of words is why. Why does she not trust anyone? Can I get some backstory rather than just her pointing a blaster at everyone she meets? To be fair, I would completely appreciate this trait more if she either actually ever shot someone or had some subtlety. You know why people love Han Solo? Because he shot first. But not just that, because he extracted the information he needed from Greedo before shooting him. Not only that, but he wasn't flashy or hyperbolic. He was a dirty snake who shot him under the table without warning. Ironically, Han Solo being such a bad person made him more likable, and that's why Kay Vess just doesn't work as well. Also, her hairstyle sucks. Let me change it. One of the major players in this game is Kira.
That's right. I am Kira.
Or for those who didn't watch Solo, Han's ex-girlfriend from his time prior to joining the Empire. They have a shaky on and off again thing in that movie, and why the hell are we some random chick and not Han right now? This would be the perfect chance to bring Eckhart, who I think did a pretty good job, and let him expand his take on the character. Harrison Ford could not give two fucks about Han Solo even when the character was at the height of his popularity. So just give up on Harrison Ford and give us a Han Solo game we've deserved this entire time. Now to get this out of the way, I do not dislike Kay because she's a woman. I think Star Wars has a lot more compelling female characters. Why couldn't we play as Mirax Tarek, or Mara Jade, or Asajj Ventress? Mirax from Legends is a smuggler in the time of the New Republic, which is anywhere from 0 to 5 years after the Battle of Endor. She's a smuggler that occasionally works with the Rebellion before eventually marrying Corran Horn. Her story prior to the Rogue Squadron books isn't really fleshed out, so this would be a good opportunity and could even tie into those stories. Next we have Mara Jade, who I personally think is one of the best options for a protagonist. She works as a smuggler for Talon Karate after the Emperor's death up until she fulfills her calling to kill Luke Skywalker. Now what's interesting about Mara is that she was the Emperor's hand, which is essentially a Force-sensitive assassin that's a tad too close to Palpatine. Regardless, this would allow gameplay to have some remiss Force powers such as pushing buttons from far away or precognition, without it feeling like you're a Jedi. Plus, she's a cold hard killer at this point and would believably be fine with casual murder of any character. And probably the character that I think would have been way better if you're determined to stay with a female protagonist, Ventress. Now I'm aware that she dies in the book Dark Disciple, but just modify the timing of this game and you can make this about her. I won't go into too much detail, but the point is there were better pre-existing characters that would work better than this new character, and more importantly, this game wants so badly to have Kay be Han Solo that it physically hurts.
Tell your client Kay Vess is in.
Cute. Desperate, but cute.
And to be completely fair, she should have been. This game should have Aaron Eckhart as Han Solo filling in the gaps between Solo and A New Hope. That's a missed opportunity here, because who wouldn't want to be Han Solo running around with Chewbacca? I mean, Kay even looks far too similar to Han to be a coincidence. I think my problem with Kay is she's just too boring. Like, with Cal, we got his backstory pretty quickly, and he was obviously out of his depth. With Kay, she feels like she knows she's in a game and not in danger. To the actor's credit, however, she does sound scared or taken aback more than once when shit goes sideways. But then she just says, "Don't worry, the next job won't be a bust" or something, and then proceeds to butcher her next one.
Don't worry, Nix. The, next job will be better. It wasn't supposed to go down this way. What have I done?
What have I done?
It just feels like everything goes her way, even when it doesn't. She gets caught just to have her stupid little squirrel jump on the bad guy and distract the other two so she can run away.
Together.
You're gonna have to do better than that.
She just so happens to find a ship that works perfectly well. She crash lands, and literally the first person she meets is a mechanic. Now, I actually don't mind him working on the ship for free because it's a collector's item, but at the same time, she has never worked with the crew because she can't trust them, but then immediately trusts this dude with her ship after he attacks her with a wrench.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought you were one of them.
Huh?
So yeah, she's very inconsistent, especially considering he betrayed her like an hour later and wasn't on the art for the game. It made it a little too obvious.
Don't be mad, Kay. I mean, I knew what she needed. I know what she's been through. I'm the one who fixed her.
You're gonna kill me for a
No.
ship?
For the Trailblazer.
Also, I'd like to point out, he betrayed her because he was in love with her ship.
This ship is special. Oh, you don't get it.
Anyways, as a side note, I really hate hearing Kay try to lie or talk her way out of things. She fucking sucks at it. Scoundrels are supposed to be smooth talkers, and she's the worst smooth talker I have ever seen.
I'm Kay Vess. You, must be the Ashiga cartel, right?
We are a clan. Your ship is an EML 850, designation Trailblazer, a smuggling vessel in our records.
Oh, you've heard of it. Well, I'm just looking for someone. Her name's Ank.
What is your business with Ank?
She owes me money. Like, a lot. I'm here to collect.
You are a liar. Liar! You are working with Crimson Dawn.
What? No, I mean, if I was with the Dawn, you'd think I'd just show up on your landing pad?
The performance of this game on an Xbox Series X hasn't been great, with stuttering and visual glitches. On top of that, something about this game seems to destroy my Xbox and its ability to record gameplay, as it was constantly lagging the console when I would open up the Xbox guide, and corrupted video clips. Now, I don't know why this is, but seeing as I've uploaded at least 4 other videos, I can say I haven't had this issue before this game. Now, the gameplay. It's very average. At parts, below average. So you have a blaster that has a kill, knockout, and temporarily stun option. You can shoot maybe 10 to 12 shots before you overheat, and then wait for it to cool down or press a button at the right time. The problem is the game just feels so painfully average. The combat isn't dangerous, the AI is stupid, there's explosive barrels everywhere you look, and the weapons you can sometimes pick up from enemies are ridiculously overtuned. That being said, the blaster's different modes is fun, but why not just give us that in a different weapon? Essentially, the sandbox is designed around stealth, with Nix being the phone in Watch Dogs, either distracting enemies or setting traps. This system unfortunately feels like shit. Unlike in Watch Dogs, the combat does not feel good. At all. In Watch Dogs, it felt like you were John Wick, to the point that using the phone became an option, not the way to play. In Outlaws, you're forced to use stealth on multiple occasions, and it's just not fun. Your silent, non-lethal blaster shot has a cooldown, a long one, which leaves Nix as the only other stealth option, and it's just lame. I'd much rather shoot everyone I see than have to crouch walk past enemies and watch Kay do the worst stealth takedown in video game history. Headshots aren't even an insta-kill, and the enemies are too dumb to even be satisfying to eliminate. On top of that, the enemies respawn. They'll literally just walk out of a door you can't enter, like they did in games 15 years ago. Can't even add a ship flying in. It just feels so lazy and artificially difficult. This game really feels like if you took the concept of Star Wars Bounty Hunter and just made it worse. This game should have had you as a bounty hunter, really, not a smuggler. I mean, at one point your Mon Calamari job broker says you're starting to get a reputation.
Out here, you live and die by your reputation.
That is by far the best reason why there should be a story about Boba Fett making his rise to fame. I mean, in the comics, he was so infamously talented that Darth Vader didn't want to use anyone else. In fact, he was one of the few people Darth Vader respected. This game is one of the biggest missed opportunities I've ever seen. Why some random new chick we've never heard of? Why is it so watered down? Why are the mechanics so poorly fleshed out? The easy answer is because it's a Ubisoft game, but I can't help but think they're not fully to blame. Jedi Fallen Order and its sequel have both been amazing games with good story, gameplay, plot, and performance, on Xbox at least. Outlaws just feels like Disney's version of 1313, the same way Kylo Ren is Disney's version of Jason Solo. Nothing about this game feels unique in a good way. Nyx is just a shitty version of BD-8, K is a shitty version of Han Solo, ND5 is just a copy of HK-47, although an admittedly good one. K-Ship is just one of the Starfield ships. None of the factions actually feel like anything other than one of 4 choices, and the gunplay is worse than Jedi Outcast, a game that released in 2002. In that game you can pick up and use any weapon an enemy has, whenever you want. In Outlaws, if you do any action outside of walking on a flat surface, K will drop whatever weapon you picked up. Go up or down a ladder, drops it. Crouch to go through a vent, drops it. You know what's crazy? Boba Fett and his copycat both have a sling on their rifles. Now I know what you're thinking. Han Solo only uses his pistol, except that he picks up and uses E11s whenever he finds them, and only switches to his pistol if he needs to. Also, he's carrying a heavy blaster, a space deagle, if you will. We're carrying a space Makarov. And then there's the fact that his companion is an 8-foot-tall muscled warrior with a Barrett 50 cal. So why would Han ever worry about firepower when he's got Chewbacca backing him up? Why does doing something for one faction impact another? They always seem to know that I'm the person doing these things when they shouldn't. I framed the Pikes by deleting their bribe history, and despite there being no Pikes anywhere near the Imperial base, they still found out and my rep tanked because of it. Most of the missions just randomly toss in a choice then to pick a side, as it were. But like, how do they know it's me? It just makes no sense. Especially because I talked to the leader of the Pikes right after that mission, and he said nothing about me framing him. Then, when I was overthrowing the Killiks, the other insect race who are modifying their genes like Kaminoans, I think, I had the option of giving the gene code to the daughter or the mother. The daughter gave Crimson Dawn rep, the mother gave Ashika. But like, isn't the daughter now the one who owns Ashika? So why do I not get both? It's a forced consequence, not a genuine one, and it just feels disingenuous. I like the reputation system in theory, it just feels like poor execution. And now it is time to discuss my least favorite part of this game, Nyx. I hate this stupid, cute ripoff. I hate that it's smart enough to do whatever I want. I hate that it can steal things from people with zero risk. I hate that he's required to use. I hate that Kate constantly is talking to him, and I really, really hate him glitching across the screen. That's it. I just despise this thing so much. So this is touted as the first ever Star Wars open world, and I suppose it just makes me wonder what KOTOR 1 and 2 are considered. What about the Old Republic MMORPG? What about Star Wars Galaxies? At the very least, this is the first open world Star Wars game in the past 10-ish years. That being said, I don't think it should be. There's nothing that this game benefits being an open world from. Almost every mission is just multiple fetch quests, with progressively more annoying objectives, and the side missions are copy and paste stuff that requires you to spend 2 minutes on your speeder, 2 minutes doing it, and then 2 minutes wondering why you bothered. I spent more time trying to figure out where the fuck I was than actually being thankful that I could go wherever I wanted. In actuality, it's not an open world, it's a curated set of cities with a whole lot of empty explorable space around them. It feels like Borderlands, and that's not in a good way. Most areas only have 2 ways to access them, either A, walking straight in, or B, finding the world's most convenient vent that seems to be designed strictly for allowing people to sneak in. You cannot convince me that you need a human-sized vent leading into your vault a whole 12 feet away from the door. On top of that, every single main quest is a linear path, similar to every other story game. So what they did was copy Assassin's Creed and just slapped some open areas around regular missions, but somehow did it worse. They somehow made a shittier open world than Mirage. Probably. I haven't played it. I really don't hate myself that much. Due to the claim of it being an open world, I was really hoping for some parkour that didn't copy and paste what Jedi Fallen Order copy and pasted from Uncharted. Why not make it more akin to Unity? Give some versatility, multiple paths really. I'd like to say this game was marketed unfairly, but honestly it probably wouldn't have sold well regardless. Ever since that first trailer disappointed fans, it was doomed. The plot is an interesting topic because, to be completely honest, I haven't finished the game, and likely I'm not even close. This is partly due to the fact that I find this game rather boring to play, and I'm not even passively interested in the plot. So, I looked it up. Spoiler warning if you actually care. From the 5-paragraph synopsis on Wikipedia, it looks slightly better than I thought, but still relatively unimaginative. Basically, Kay accidentally works with the rebels to rob a big syndicate guy.
I'm starving. It's time to eat.
She steals his ship and he puts a hefty bounty on her. Kay gets approached by what turns out to be big syndicate guy's brother, and they make a plan to rob BSG. They succeed, but then BSG's brother turns on them. Shocking, I know. He kills his brother for revenge reasons. Kay frees a sexualized commando droid, who then kills BSG's brother, and that's it, basically. Some denouement, sure, but that's the gist. To be fair, I don't think it's horrible, outside of the Solo a Star Wars story level of shocking betrayals. Now maybe if I ever manage to finish the story I may change my opinion on it, but as it stands now I just find it rather bland, like the rest of this game, and I think that is for one specific reason. Why do I want to do this? I know Kay wants her big score, but frankly that's so overdone.
They're our ticket out of here next, and then, before you know it, we're rich. Until we land a score so big, nobody can hold us back. Ever. We set for luck. Oh, okay, we're alive. We fix the ship, get to the core worlds, and land a big score.
You know why I like Han Solo? Because he doesn't want the big score. He just wants the rush, the danger. And that, I think, is way more interesting in a character. Here's what I would have done instead. 2 options, because it could go either way. 1. I would scrap Kay, Nix, and the entire story, turn Kay into a bounty hunter. Boba Fett is not only the best choice here, but deserves better media than his own show. This could keep the reputation system in similar aspects to the game currently, but give us bounties instead of fetch quests. Let us hunt people down and bring them back dead or alive. And let me pull my gun out whenever the fuck I want. How about that? Now it's important to note that canon Boba Fett doesn't kill anyone unless he has to. I'm not saying the player shouldn't be able to, but it could be interesting. This should be about Bubba's rise to fame, that or just copy his trilogy that takes place after he escapes the Sarlacc and replace that shitty show altogether. Number 2, fix the game. Make us someone we either know, or let us create a character. Kay is not a good character. Han Solo, Dash Rendar, Mirax, Mara Jade. Fuck, even the commando droid in this game would have been a better protagonist. Fix reputation system to make sense and not always be a binary choice. Give some nuance here. If I choose to go loud in a base, I shouldn't lose rep if the people die before contacting the outside world. Make an open world game that actually feels open. If I want to start a shootout in the middle of town, let me. This feels more PG than LEGO Star Wars. Lastly, I want to talk about the saddest thing this game made me feel. Disappointment. Not just in Star Wars Outlaws, but also in Starfield. Because no matter how lackluster Outlaws is, it's still better than Starfield, and that is so tragic. I can enter my ship without a loading screen. The takeoff and landing scenes look better somehow. The AI is better somehow. The gun feels more fun. The single gun feels more fun than all of the guns in Starfield. Somehow, the characters resonate more with me in this game. Maybe that's because everyone in Starfield was so saintly, and the people in Outlaws have a shred of nuance. If Starfield is a 5, and that's a big if, Outlaws can at least scratch a 6, because at the end of the day, the people who designed the environments in this game did not miss a single time. This game is beautiful, and the world feels like Star Wars. It's just a shame it's inhabited by Starfield's NPCs.